Brothers and sisters, yes, it's your girl jazzexcess, and I'm back again with another video. And word on the political streets is that the Doge team has found, I think, $50 million of fraudulent funds. Hi! This is future Jasmine. Past Jasmine had it wrong. It was $50 billion, not million. Okay, bye. Along with a lot of people are getting fired and laid off of work that work in the federal sector of the government.
6,000 people working at the Internal Revenue Service were set to be let go before the week's end. The layoffs come in the middle of tax filing period, but an email sent to IRS managers and obtained by CBS News says the employees terminated were not deemed as critical to the filing season. Now the president is reportedly considering a move to take over the U.S. Postal Service and absorb the independent mail agency into his administration. Elon Musk celebrated the cost cutting yesterday at the Conservative Political Action Conference by raising a chainsaw. His Department of Government Efficiency office has helped axe at least 12,000 jobs so far in the first month of President Trump's second term. Musk says additional cuts are expected across parts of government in the days and weeks ahead.
And I honestly think it's sad that people are losing their jobs. That really sucks, but I think it's crazy that people have been able to work from home since COVID, and you know, they have never had to return to the office until Trump came back into office.
That if they're working for the federal government, they must show up to the office on time and on schedule. We don't want them. We don't want them to work from home because, as everyone knows, most of the time they're not working, they're not very productive, and it's unfair to the millions of people in the United States who are in fact working hard from job sites and not from their home. As federal employees, they must meet a high standard. They're representing our government, they're representing our country. If they don't agree by February 6th to show up back to work in their office, they will be terminated, and we will therefore be downscaling our government, which is something that the last 10 presidents have tried very hard to do but failed. Most of the people we're talking about have not been going to their federal offices in many, many years, from even before COVID. But they have nevertheless been paid. Some have worked, some haven't worked, and most of the studies say that some have just gone through the motion.
You know, I work in mental health, and during COVID, I went and got my LPN, licensed practical nurse. So, to be honest with you, I never had the opportunity to work from home. So I honestly can't relate to people crying on the internet about, oh, I have to go back to work. I never had the option. I worked all throughout COVID, face-to-face, one-on-one with people, risking my life every day. So I cannot relate to the pleasure of working from home. I bet it was awesome. I bet it was amazing. But that time is up for y'all. I am not clapping and applauding people getting laid off and fired from work, because if that happened to me tomorrow, I'd be fudged. But I am happy that they're finding misuse of our tax
Just
fund.
a second. $520 million for a consultant on the environment. It's called Environmental, Social, and Governance Investments in Africa, and mobilize private sector resources. $520 million. Somebody got $520 million for an environmental, sounds like an environmental study. I've always been one that paid a lot of money for my environmental studies, but I paid like $50,000, not $520 million. $520 million for ESG. $25 million to promote biodiversity, conservation, and promote licit livelihoods by developing socially responsible behavior in the country of Colombia. Well, it's nice, $25 million to go into Colombia for something that nobody ever heard of. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. $40 million. $42 million for Johns Hopkins, great place, to research and drive social and behavior change in Uganda. $42 million. What about us? What about social change in our country? $70 million for a center at Purdue to research university-sourced, evidence-based solutions to developmental challenges. I mean, these are massive numbers on things that nobody ever heard about. $10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcisions. $10 million for circumcisions in another country. $9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills. In other words, let's teach them something about enterprise. What about our people? Can't we teach them about enterprise? $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia. $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, which is a very liberal group of people. Wonder how much of that money came back to the people that approved it. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova, and $21 million for voter turnout in India. Well, why are we giving $21 million to India? They got a lot of money. They're one of the highest taxing countries in the world in terms of us. We can hardly get in there because their tariffs are so high.
I work very hard. I'm a black Republican, love it or hate it, but this is me. And I used to honestly be on the Democratic plantation. I believed everything Democrats said to me until I had an awakening. And I seen the way politics really work in this country. And I realized that if I keep voting for Democrats, I'm going to be in the same position I was last year, and the year before that, and the year before that. And I've seen them put people that are born here in the USA, put immigrants over people that work hard and that are the backbone to this country. Now, me working in mental health, argue with me all day, I honestly think it's one of the most important jobs and underlooked jobs in America. I think that mental health is very important and it's very overlooked. I honestly believe that if America focused more on mental health, there would be less school shootings and mass shootings. People going into churches and shooting ish up. Like, it's ridiculous. It all ties back to mental health. What's your mental health like? Are you checking in with yourself? Do you have healthy coping mechanisms that you utilize on an everyday basis? But yeah, I think it's very important. But I digress. What I'm saying is to say this. I'm a MAGA girl for life. I believe in making America great again, and that Trump's doing what he said he was doing. Everything that he's doing, he campaigned on. And I'm honestly not used to presidents saying, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and actually doing it. Immediately when he was sworn in as president again on January 20th, he went into work. And I think it's amazing. I'm glad I voted for him. I stand on my reasoning for voting for him. And I wanted to say to everybody, all my viewers, and everybody out there, Trump is thinking about giving everybody $5,000 rebate checks. And the rebate check is for us because we overpaid in taxes. We've been overpaying in taxes to fund things that we didn't really need, such as DEI hires, 150-year-old person that was getting Social Security, and so on and so forth. So he is trying to cut the federal budget, because if we keep going the way that we are going, we were going to be bankrupt. I have mixed feelings about these refund checks, because I feel as though, you know, when America gets a little bit of money, we don't know how to act. That's why all the stimulus checks that they dropped during the pandemic is the reason why inflation is so high right now. So I'm just suggesting this. Don't you dare go and spend that little refund check that you get on trips, shoes, clothes, bags, purses, plastic surgery. Use the money wisely. I know what I'm going to do with my money. I'm either going to pay some debt off, I'm going to put some in savings, and I'm going to put some money in stocks. I really regret what I did with my last stimulus money, because I really was not financially stable. This is our time, America. This is the golden age of America. Trump is running the United States as if it's a business. And he's doing this to put money back in our pockets. Now, it's up to you to figure out what you want to do with that money. Are you going to waste it on dumb stuff? Or are you going to waste it or are you going to better your future with it? I want to be farther than I am within this next 4 years. I'm taking this 4 years of my life, and I'm going to be financially stable. By the time Trump leaves office, my goal is to be financially stable. Be smart with the opportunity you're being gifted right now, because who knows who's going to be in office next. And with that being said, it's your girl jazzexcess, and I'm signing off. MAGA for life. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to live in excess. Mwah!